So today we are talking all about keywords and specifically Google Ad keywords. Um, there's a lot of business owners out there that if you told them you can find a big group of people actively searching for your business, they would be like, "Oh my gosh, where are they? I need that right now." And that's basically what you can do with keywords, solid keyword strategy, and combining that with Google Ads. You're finding actively searching for your business that have already put themselves towards the bottom of the funnel. So you're just almost ready to convert them. So that's what we're talking about today. This is Third Wave episode number 7. We are entering a new era in marketing. First was traditional advertising, billboards, newspapers, mail. Next, it was the internet, where advertisers would hack their way into the inboxes and search results. But now, with the rise of AI and Web3, digital advertising is becoming increasingly human-centered. We must build trust and provide value above all else. And it sounds like a daunting task, but Ben and I are here to help you do it. We're going to talk about the strategies that can help you, a small business owner or a medium-sized business operator, build a predictable revenue source in this new environment. So we do that all while drinking some awesome specialty coffee, hence the name Third Wave. Ben, what you drinking this morning?
This morning I'm drinking some agua. I am all out.
Ooh, that's fancy.
I know, all out of my specialty coffee. My roommate has some super quality tasting Starbucks. But I
That's
refuse
beautiful.
to drink it because I do not want some burnt stuff in my
Because
mouth.
he doesn't want to lie to you all when he says it's specialty coffee.
Yep.
So I'm drinking a little bit of Black and Bold. There's some roasters from Iowa. They give like 5% to children in need. And it's like an Ethiopian roast of some kind, a light roast. So pretty fruity. But anyway, let's get into some keyword stuff, huh? It doesn't sound like the most fun subject of all time, talking about keywords, but like it is a key, no pun intended, to unlocking a part of business that I didn't know really existed before.
And
I
plus,
didn't.
too, it's like keywords are honestly like probably one of the most important things within digital marketing. If you're going to do like Google ads and stuff, like they will either make or break your campaign.
Yeah. So Ben, first of all, let's just talk a little bit about what makes keywords so important, why we need to focus on them.
Yeah. So, I mean, number one, I guess, is you're selling a specific product or service and you want to be able to get that product or service in front of the people looking for it, right? So keywords are going to be the search items people are searching to find your product or service. So you want to be able to match your product or service with the keywords people are actually actively searching for it. So you put your bomb product or service in front of them so you can make some sales.
Yeah, so the first thing you need to think about is what is the intent that I'm going for someone searching. So before we even start to build the page, a lot of the time people have a page, like a landing page or a website, that they then just make ads for to put people onto that page. But you're missing like a huge point, which is the search intent. So most of the time we start with the keyword in the ad, and then we make the page and the journey equal that, whatever they're searching for.
Yeah, and that's specifically too because of like I think Google's update in 2021 has made Google Ads more intent based. So what that means is essentially Google's algorithm focuses on what the searcher's intent is and what ads and page is going to provide them the most value, what's going to match. So they need to be like equal intent of
Mm-hmm.
both. So if that makes sense. And essentially, you're trying to match your keywords with your ads and page to your services and products, all within the searcher's intent. So that's a big reason too of not just buying every single keyword ever. One, you'll have a very expensive budget, but two is you're meeting consumers at different stages of the funnel. So if I search for like a remodeling contractor estimate near me, I'm a lot farther down in the funnel and looking for a potential, contractor to work with. I'm probably making calls and getting estimates and then choosing my person. But if I'm like just looking for modern kitchen ideas or things like that, or what should I look for in a contractor, I'm going to be much further up the funnel. And at that stage, I probably shouldn't be asking for name, phone number, email, zip code, all these different things, because that's not what they're looking for. They don't want an estimate. They would maybe give you your email or their email for a list of what you should look for and warning signs or red flags in a contract.
They're looking
Yeah.
to be an informed buyer. So like the main things we need to think about with search intent is, so it's important for two reasons really. And number one is like when they get to the page, they're much more likely to convert if they're finding what they're looking for, which is great for you. And then before that, like Ben was saying a little bit ago, Google is so smart now, it knows, is this page, it's going to serve up to the person exactly what they're looking for. Because if it is, then the person will spend more time on Google, they'll love using the platform, and Google actually assigns a score to your like ad based on your page and based on your ad quality. So it actually won't even show your ad as much if you have a page that isn't what the person wants. So that's just a little bit about search intent. Getting back into keywords, what are the kind of things, the strategies we do to kind of figure out what they're searching for?
Yeah, so kind of start off with brainstorming. Like, one, obviously just know what you're selling essentially, and take that into, I usually use answerthepublic.com, which is like a keyword researcher. So it just shows what all people are asking about certain keywords. So I'll search like remodeling companies or something and hit search, and then it'll take a sec. But so essentially all the keywords that you'll see are actually search items of what people are searching for. So then it kind of gives me an idea maybe of some different keywords to hit on. So
we start remodeling companies. It says one of these is where. So where top 10 remodeling companies. How do removal companies work? Some of these just end up being hilarious.
Yeah.
But it kind of just gets your brain working a little bit on stuff that you might not have thought about before.
Yeah, maybe trends or what people like, a specific type of renovation maybe somebody's looking for. But this is usually what I'll start with. It kind of can give you some ideas of searching through all these keywords or searches. And then we'll go into keyword planner. And then so maybe start off decently broad with some of the searches. But so for instance, if we're going to do like remodeling or something, so Braden would do discover new keywords.
So the way they build this is kind of like, let me go back really quick. It's kind of like go along these steps you discover, and then you kind of forecast them, and then you can organize them into ad groups. So, they make these UIs pretty intuitive. So just click on the first one, discover new keywords.
So in this spot, you can do like remodeling companies. Braden, you can type in a few or whatever,
Yeah.
but just ask yourself where you're trying to sell to. So if it's the whole United States, if you're capable of that, you can leave this. Otherwise, select your region and or city or your DMA or whatever it may be. But just know that the smaller you go, your keyword price will actually go up just because there's a tighter competition on that.
So I just did a couple there. Um, get results. Takes a little bit. So what this is going to spit out is like tons and tons of keywords related to what you typed in. And that's good in that there's a lot of variation, but it's bad in that, look, 2,600 keywords available. So that's where this filtering really comes into play. I made this one called Goldilocks. It's just saved, and I'm just gonna click it and show you what we have as filters. So top of the bid on the low side is gonna be greater than or equal to $1. And then on the high side, less than or equal to 30. And this is still a pretty broad range, but it's just getting rid of a lot of the outliers. Some of them go up to $1,000. Um, competition, I don't want to go super, super narrow. So I'm going low and medium. Low are obviously great, but you don't want to get like no keywords. And then we also want there to be good search volume for the area. Another good thing to point out is that before I didn't really specify the area. So if you're a local business, you're going to definitely want to do this. Ben, talk a little bit about pros and cons of selecting area.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously with when you select area, you can be more specific and target who you exactly want. So technically, in a campaign, you could create multiple campaigns, and even if you're a national brand, and select certain cities, so you can still be almost have a local feel. But so, for instance, if Braden does like Chicago, looks like what he did. So I'm going to be limited to only people in this area are going to be seeing my ad, and this is you do have to be really careful because if you don't set up your campaign correctly in settings, then you can actually get people seeing your ad where people just search like Chicago remodeling company, even though they may be located in Kansas City or Des Moines or somewhere across the country. So also when you do this, make sure when you create your campaign as well that you're selecting only people that live in the area,
Yes.
unless if that doesn't matter to your product or service. But essentially, if I just do Chicago, one, the search volumes that you saw are going to go down by quite a bit. So there was like almost like tens of thousands of searches a month when Braden had it to the United States. And even though Chicago is a huge city, it's only like remodeling companies, there's only 70 searches a month. So kitchen remodelers, 1,300. And also a potential possibility of this, you'd probably actually get more searches for remodeling companies in the suburbs just because there's high renter population throughout um, the city, I would assume, is my guess. But so that's kind of something. Are you looking to go for a homeowner, a renter, et cetera? Does that matter? Because if it does, then location becomes even more of a deal for sure. But essentially, the lower of an area you get, the less amount of search volume you get. It's not bad by any means. It will raise your cost per click, just so you know. So a higher nationally brand is going to pay less for a certain keyword because it has thousands of places it could put it in all these searches. So it analyzes all these bids and it could get a cheaper bid somewhere else. So that's why it is going to be less essentially. But yeah, I mean, I would just analyze what your service or product is, how big of a company you guys are, what's your service area, and just target in there. Make sure again, that you select only people living in there, and then start to see what the search volumes are, and then each keyword. So I'll usually look at the keyword, and if it's something that I like, I will see the search volume, if it's changed recently, and then what's the competition like. And then finally, I'll kind of look at the cost per click, and I'll just kind of take an average of that.
So one thing we need to do here is I will actually edit these to get a manageable number. Right now we're at 2,600 keywords. I'll just keep going, like changing these. Sometimes you have to refresh. Hopefully it doesn't lose the keywords. Oh, accidentally clicked something. Anyway, yeah, so I will hone in I'm just gonna do that again really quick. Hone in keywords, kitchen, so you have a manageable number.
Also, so you'll kind of know if Braden types in remodel, usually all these, Google is looking at broad versions of all of these. So that's not like phrase match or exact match. So these aren't exact keywords people are searching for. Usually these are more broad. So yeah, I mean, kitchen remodel gets 112,000 monthly searches throughout the country.
Okay,
But
so let's say we've kind of narrowed it down. We kind of got this to a manageable couple hundred number. We can go through these. So that's basically after doing our filters, which I haven't done yet. But we can go through these and start to decide, is this keyword actually the intent we're going for? For example, kitchen remodel, yes, check it. Remodeling contractor, yes, check it. Bathroom remodel cost, this might be a little more informational. They might be looking for like averages, maybe a blog post. So we're not going to check that for this one, but maybe that gives us an idea to make more of a blog post type page. This would be a little more top of the funnel though, just a little bit, than someone looking for a kitchen renovation now. So basically, this is where you start to really lock in your search intent, start to think of like, what exactly am I selling? And is this Google search somebody looking for that? And once you've done that, you can save keywords to create a plan right there. So 3 keywords added to your plan, view saved keywords. Another way to do that is just over here on the left bar, go to saved keywords. Let me see, keyword plan, forecast. So the next thing we do is we like to forecast. So if you had different campaigns here, you could just select that. But right now we just have some saved that we just did. So I'll do all saved keywords. And this is actually amazing because it'll tell you based on the search volume, based on the impressions and the cost, it'll use AI to basically calculate out what it thinks you'll be able to get in terms of clicks with your budget. So if you spent $500 a day, which would be 15K over the course of a month, you get 7.7 thousand clicks. Now, another thing you can do on here is estimate your conversions. So we'll go in here and we'll estimate conservatively, like let's say 3% of them. Okay, so yeah, let's say we get 5% of people to fill out the form, but then we close like 30% of them on average. So it'd go 0.05. So that's 5% of them fill the form times 0.3. You close 30% of them. So the number that I'm going to use is 0.015. 0.015 total close. And then the value per conversion, let's say every time you close someone, it's worth $20,000 to you. That means conversion value. So if you spent, let me see, if you spent $15,000 over the course of a month using these keywords, you'd probably have 2 conversions. So yeah, it just shows all your numbers here, like ROAS of 2. Super nice. And you can calculate. You don't use this as the Bible of like, this is exactly what it's going to be, but you can do like the bottom range and the top range. You could start to decide what your risk to reward benefit like ratio is. And then the next thing is to actually use them in your ads. But we will get to that next time because today we're just talking about keywords, how to find them, how to use them. So, what other questions would people have about keywords? Like,
So an important thing. So I guess 2 important things when Braden was doing the keyword ideas, and he was limiting based on search volume and then cost per click, essentially, or cost. Yeah. You can also add a filter to only contain a certain keyword, so it'll only show those searches over like throughout the year with construction or with bathroom or whatever. So you get specific things that's only going to be relevant to that with your keywords that you entered. So that really helps kind of break down some ideas too. But an important thing is you're probably not going to get it right first try either way. So what you should do is like, what are the keywords you for sure want to do? Enter those, and then as your campaign is running, you're gonna hit on your ads, hit keywords in the campaign section, and then you're gonna hit negative keywords or search terms. So you're actually seeing what people are searching and then what your ad is popping up on. And if it's something that you don't want, because you could be advertising on the keyword kitchen remodeler and choose phrase match or even broad match, then it shows worst kitchen remodelers near me. And then you pop up as one of the worst kitchen remodelers near me. Extreme example, but there are certain keywords and items that you don't want to pop up on. And Google takes like what it thinks is a relevant meeting, and then we'll pop your ad on that essentially. So especially in the first week of a campaign, you want to be kind of in that search terms daily just to add negative keywords. So once you add that to your ad or campaign, it won't show up again for that.
here's negative keywords. Add a negative keyword. Negative keywords can prevent your ad from showing to people search for content related to those words. So, like here, he was saying, keyword with no quotations, no brackets is a broad match, more like just intent. Keyword in quotations is a phrase match, and then which means there can be other variations of what you typed. And then keyword with brackets is exact match, which means they exactly have to do that. And yeah, like Ben said, that's getting a little nitty gritty, but definitely becomes important. And so basically in the beginning, if you look at the bottom left of the screen, the best way we think to start would be use Discover, just to like type in some basic things about your company, and then you'll be able to find a lot of keywords that are related to that. Filter them, make sure you're doing location too, so that you can get a nice manageable amount of keywords that are actually good. You're not getting high competition with like $1,000 bids and super high CPCs, stuff like that. Then you can save them, and then you can use the forecasting tool to kind of decide how many clicks you'll be getting, if you think they'll be worth it. And then use them, which will be another stream. We'll talk about actually like building out the ads and getting lots of business, right? That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
So just before we go, the main reason why this is so important. So some people might be like, well, $7 for someone to click to my site is a lot. So pay $7 when I can go on Facebook and get a lead for under $1. And it's like, um, or they'll get like so many clicks on Facebook for like barely any money. And it's like the intent here matters so much, because someone like looking for your business to click on it for $7, depending on what your purchase price is, that could be so awesome for your business.
It's very similar between the difference of a cold call and a warm call.
Yeah.
So a warm call comes from somebody who already wants you to contact them. A
You can
cold call is somebody that is being interrupted during their day, which is
Yeah.
Facebook.
It's complete opposites. It's like one person, like you're trying to help them solve their problem, and the other person, like you're creating a problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then just overall, when you want to grow and start to scale a business, one of the most important things is a predictable revenue source. So it's like you don't want this, because then it's hard for you to hire and it's hard for you to make decisions, because you don't exactly know when your next large paycheck's coming in if you're based on referral. So this starts to just create a mathematical equation around revenue and how much you'll be bringing in, which allows you to make safer decisions on how to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you might, like with a referral, you might not have that small advertising cost, but if you focus just on that, it's so hard to grow just without predictable revenue. So I think that's all we got today for the keywords. We'll talk more about actually making the ads in the future, but if you guys want an actionable tip in your inbox every morning, not every morning, every Saturday morning, um, we have a newsletter, and it's called the Third Wave newsletter. Um, it's similar to this show. We try to just keep it light. We try to tell stories and help you basically focus on what's going to actually grow your business and help you sift through all the new things you're constantly hearing on social media about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So we'll be actually, I think this weekend, we're going to tell how exactly we landed $100,000 for one of our clients in 3 weeks after using only $700 in ad spend. So going to break that down. Subscribe. It's in the link in the description. And then also, if you're a business owner or a marketer, you probably know this statement very well. I have no problem spending money on marketing if it works. But how do we find what actually works? You either have to be a magician, which sadly we are not, or you can follow the 4 T's, which is target, tailor, test, and track. So, in order to help us follow that really quickly and with agility, we built Page Army, which allows us to create up to 10,000 landing pages in the snap of a finger. And this allows us to A/B test really quickly. It allows us, very importantly, to match the searcher's intent with our page, like we talked about earlier. Not only does Google want the intent to match up, but if somebody goes somewhere they're really looking for, they're more likely to convert, which is what you want. And then once we've made those pages and the ads, we can A/B test and we can gather data to see what actually works. So after we get going a little bit, we like to have more of a profitability focus. Things like return on ad spend, CAC to LTV ratios, so that we can see a bigger picture of what's actually working instead of just trying to optimize for clicks. And then the best part about all of this is that as an agency, we are performance based. which means if we don't make you money, we work for free. So monthly we have a monthly subscription fee, but in our contract we say that if you are not profitable, we will actually refund you. And that's just us trying to put our money where our mouth is. We are also competitive in nature. We were both athletes, and we think that it gives us a little bit of skin in the game, just guaranteeing results. And I think a lot of people want that in a marketing company, not someone just trying to come in and do a little bit of stuff and make some money, but actually someone there with you every step of the way, making sure that it's successful, or else we don't get paid. So if that interests you guys, you can click the link to do a little 30-minute discovery call to see what your strategy's like and if we're a good fit. So anything you want to add there, Benny boy?
No, that was good. Good job.
All right, cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Yep, have a good Monday.